systematic architecture of genocide against Rohingya has shaped so my deep commitment to advocate for the Rohingya and other marginalized communities. As part of my work, I have closely witnessed the devastating impact of conflict on the Rohingya and other population. Since in Myanmar 2021, 3.6 million people have been displaced, 1.5 million have fled as refugees, and 22 million people need urgent humanitarian aid across Myanmar. On top of this crisis, the Rohingya are also victims of a systemic, decades-long genocide. The persecution, mass displacement, and destruction of my people predates the current conflict. But recent fightings and events have compounded and exacerbated our suffering. For example, around 200,000 Rohingya have been confined in detention camps since 2012 racial violence in Situ, Rakhine State. Their homes and lands have been confiscated, and they depend almost entirely on the international humanitarian aid. On 13th of November 2023, fighting broke out between Myanmar junta military and the Arakan army, which is predominantly a Rakhine Buddhist armed group fighting for greater autonomy. As a result, the junta blocked all humanitarian access and cut telecommunication, leaving the communities in a state of unimaginable suffering and facing starvation. In what World Food Programme has described as a full-blown disaster. As a witness to the 13th of November 2023 conflict, when I was in Myanmar, I saw the junta's forced conscription of 10 ages, men and elders from the Rohingya community in Rakhine State. After a mere 10 days of training, they were used as human shield in the battlefield, such as Military Operation Common 15, Butidong, 536, 537, 538, Light Infantry Division, Ratidang. In just 1 week, at least 400 Rohingya were killed. Hundreds of Rohingya have been forcibly conscripted by junta since 2023. The forced conscription continues in Situ today. It is clear that this is a tactic used by junta to inflame tension and to incite conflict between Rakhine and Rohingya. Such divide rules and tactics have been used by junta in past. For example, in inciting conflict in 2012. The junta has also escalated aerial bombardment across the country, including by using 500-pound bombs, causing rising civilian casualties. In Shokto, Rakhine State, at least 20 Rakhine students were recently killed by such bombing. Meanwhile, the Arakan army also forcibly conscripted Rohingya and have carried out arbitrary arrests, torture, massacre, and village burning. One of the gravest atrocities was Tanshaw Kang Hoyasari massacre, in which over 600 Rohingya were killed. On 17 May 2024, after capturing the Butidong, Arakan army burned to ash the almost entire central Butidong, which is predominantly Rohingya area. 10 of thousands attempt to flee. Along the way, they were blocked, looted, beaten, or killed. Survivor describes scenes of horror, civilians trapped inside the burning homes, and families separated. These atrocities forcibly displaced over 200,000 Rohingya in a single day, marking one of the darkest movements since genocidal campaign of 2017. On 5 August 2024, Enough River Bank drone attack killed more than 200 civilians, most of them women and children. The United Nations High Commission Office for Human Rights, Amnesty International, and the Independent Investigative Mechanism from Myanmar, Human Rights Watch for Defy Rights, affirmed that both Myanmar military and the Arakan army have committed and continue to commit crimes against humanity against Rohingya with complete impunity. In 2017, during Myanmar military's clearance operation, which quickly turned into a campaign of terror, killed thousands of Rohingya, burned down hundreds of villages, engaged in systematic sexual violence, and forced nearly 1 million Rohingya into neighboring country Bangladesh. We hope that international pressure, international law would end the impunity. But our suffering continues. Today, once again, more than 150,000 Rohingya have been forcibly displaced into Bangladesh. Hundreds of thousands remain trapped inside the Rakhine state, facing ongoing genocidal condition. Excellencies, despite these decades of persecution, our deepest wish as Rohingya is to live peacefully and securely, together with diverse community, including Rakhines and others, in our ancestral homeland, with safety and security. Yet, the past decade has shown that it's not possible for us without international support. Without international pressure. The impunity goes on. Ending the crisis of insecurity for the Rohingya community is a task for this assembly and a task for the humanity itself. The Rohingya are on the brink. We can keep struggling and practicing resilience, but we can't survive in Myanmar without international protection. Repatriation will only be possible with genuine international protection. Without credible guarantees, justice and security, any return would risk the repeating cycles of persecution and mass displacement. I therefore urgently call on all UN member states to establish a United Nations supervised safe zone for the Rohingya in northern Rakhine state, supported by ASEAN and other regional stakeholders to guarantee the protection of all civilians.